So we're going to start with a standing roll down, just to articulate the spine or move each bone one at a time, just so that we can see how flexible we are to start with. So imagine your spine is stuck to a wall. The wall takes the shape of your spine, so it's not a flat wall. What I'd like you to do is slowly take a breath in into the armpits, breathe out as you slowly curl the chin towards the chest, and keep rolling down one vertebrae at a time, all the way down to the floor as far as you comfortably can. If you can't reach the floor, that's fine. Hold the position for the breath in into the armpits, engage the B-line, and now use the B-line to come up breathing out. Don't squeeze the bottom at all, just curling up one bone at a time, lengthen through the crown of the head, take a breath in at the top. Deep breath out as you curl down again, one vertebrae at a time, peeling off that imaginary wall. Keep the chin off the chest so you're not squashing it down, which will inhibit your breath. Breathing in, you may feel the hamstrings here. Breathing out as you curl up one bone at a time, using the B-line, constantly using the B-line to support the back. So if you feel your back muscles working, it's probably because you're not B-lining. Take a breath in. We'll do one more. And breathing out to curl down. This is also used as a gauge, because we'll do it at the end as well, and it's used as a gauge to see how flexible you've become during the program. Hold the position for the breath in, engage the B-line, and breathe out to curl up, one bone at a time. All the way up. If you find you're tight in the knees, bend the knees slightly. Right, we're going to start off with some stretches on the floor. So sitting down with the knees bent open. Martin, if you can face that direction, great. The knees are comfortably bent open. Don't draw the heels too tightly up into the groin, just so that you can sit upright as if your back were against a wall. Stretch both hands up into the air, breathing in. Place the hands down the back between the shoulder blades. Take a breath in. Deep breath out and curl, peeling yourself off that imaginary wall behind you, but not leaning forward. Breathing in into the armpits, breathing out, curling forward. Try not to lean forward like that, as this does not stretch the lower back muscles. Breathing in through the nose, breathe out. Imagine curling over a roller, going as far forward as you can, keeping the lower 6 inches upright. Breathing into the armpits. If you feel the neck too tense, just relax the elbows to that position there. Breathing into the armpits, keep the shoulders down in towards the tailbone. You should feel the stretch in the lower part of the back or across the shoulder blades. Keep breathing deeply, and the breathing continuously flows. Breathing into the armpits, remember the ocean breath out. Deep sigh out. You actually want to hear yourself breathing from across the room. Breathing in, relax the knees. That's it, so you don't want to tense up the legs either. Breathing in through the nose, deep sigh out as you curl forward. And one more. Take a deep breath out as you curl forward. Relax the shoulders. Don't squash the chin onto the chest at all. And a deep breath out. Right, breathe in to come up. One bone at a time, reaching the hands up into the air. Relax the hands by the sides. Straighten the legs out in front of you. Point your feet and squeeze the ankle bones together. Right, take the arms up into the air again, breathing in. Hands down the back. And breathe out as you curl, drawing the ribs in towards the hips, but don't squash the chin down too much. Breathing in, deep breath out, going down as far forward as you can on the first breath, squeezing the ankle bones together. Breathing in into the armpits, deep sigh out. Relax the shoulders if you feel your neck. Keep the B-line engaged at all times. Squeeze those inner thighs gently together and press the knees into the floor. If you find your hamstrings are too tight in this exercise, bend the knees slightly so you can keep them like that and still get a good stretch into the lower back. So keeping the knees straight, take a breath in. We're going to extend this program by flexing your feet. So just draw the toes back and press through the heels as hard as you can. You should feel an increased stretch in the back of the legs. Again, if you feel it too tightly behind the knees, just bend the knees slightly. Breathing into the upper back, relax the shoulders, and a deep sigh out as you curl in. And breathing in and straightening up one vertebra at a time as you come all the way up into the air, hands to the ceiling, and relax your hands by your sides. We're now going to do a rotational movement, so bending your left leg. That's it. Martin's going to do a straightforward movement for those of you who don't have enough rotation. Mel and Holly will be doing the rotational movement. So take both arms up into the air, as tall as you can. The girls are going to keep their hands up. Martin, if you take your hands down your back, that's it, between the shoulder blades, and curl in, just straight down, making sure that the nose comes straight down the inside of the thigh. The girls are going to turn towards the bent knee. Take a breath in, don't move. Breathe out and reach over. grab the foot and place the top hand behind the head between the shoulders. Hold the position, take a breath in. Breathe out, lengthen through the crown of the head. In Mel's position here, what we're going to do, because she's quite flexible, we're going to place this hand on this knee and this hand on your foot. That's it. Take a breath in, breathe out, use the bottom hand to corkscrew around and the top hand to lengthen out. Similar to a human pretzel, isn't it? Keep the beeline in as much as you can, and deep breath out as you lengthen through the crown of the head. Deep breath in, and remember, you want to hear yourself breathing. Bend the bottom elbow to let yourself come down. Once again, try not to stretch a stretched muscle because it will only fight you back. Take a breath in, breathe out and flop. Just flop. And notice the difference. You actually do gain more stretch. Keep the beeline in. One more breath out. Stretch both hands in line with the bottom leg. Breathe out to come up to the center. Turn and relax and change legs. Well done. Martin is working quite well independently here by himself. Once again, take both arms up into the air. Hands down the back, Martin, and away you go. The girls will turn, reach over, grab the foot. Mel, if you can get your hand positions, that's it. Take a breath in, breathe out and lengthen through the crown of the head and corkscrew around. When corkscrewing the torso, always turn from the rib cage. Try not to use the shoulders because that may strain the back. Breathing in into the armpits and breathe out and corkscrew and lengthen through the crown of the head as well. Great. Keep pressing through the bottom heel so you can get a stretch all the way up the hamstring. If you need to bend the knee, that's fine to do so. And once more, just flop down, flop down. There you go. We're going to continue with the stretches. The difference with this program and most Pilates programs is that this one involves a lot of stretching to loosen you up before you start the program so that you actually activate the muscles a little deeper. So we're going to continue the hamstring stretches, lying down on your back, just rolling down, and bend your right leg up towards you. Martin, if you can keep your left leg bent, taking the right leg up into the air, that's it. Reach forward and grab the leg with both hands. Now, making sure that you keep a coin underneath the hip so the hip doesn't lift right off the floor. Take a breath in to start. Breathe out. Bend the elbows towards the hip and down to the floor, holding the position, breathing in. Breathe out. Bend a little further and flex the foot so you're trying to get the heel to the wall above the head, pressing the hip into the ground. And keep breathing. A deep sigh out. Remember, if you feel it behind the knee, bend the knee slightly. Mel, if you can take your hands a little higher. If you have the flexibility to do so, take the hands up high, but make sure you keep pressing that hip down onto the floor and the tailbone is still on the coin. Breathing in and out. Using the beeline. Great. If you do have flexibility, extend the leg all the way down to the floor. And Holly, if you can flex your foot a little bit more, that's it, to give it more of a stretch. Keep in mind bending the knee. Make sure the knee is coming to the shoulder, not to the nose, so you're not cutting across the body. One more breath, that's it. And change legs. Take the leg up into the air, making sure the other foot is 60 centimeters away from the backside or a right angle at the knee joint. Take a breath in to start. Breathe out, bending the elbows towards the hip and down to the floor, making sure the hip stays on a coin, pressing through the heel. Deep breath in through the nose, engage the beeline, breathing out. Just relax the hip joint as much as possible so you're drawing the thigh to the rib cage, not the foot to the floor. And deeper breaths in through the nose. Close the rib cage to breathe out. Close the rib cage. And immediately you'll find that the abdominals work harder and your breathing is much louder. Into the armpits, so bend the elbows outwards to the sides a little bit, and that'll allow you to take a deeper breath in. 2 more breaths. In through the nose. Bring the leg in line with the shoulder. That's it. Lengthening through the crown of the head. And last one, deep breath out. Close the rib cage. Great. And relax. We're now going to go into the thigh stretches or quadricep stretches. So kneeling upright. We have 3 different versions here. Martin's going to do this lying down. If you have any knee joint pain, this is the best position to be in. If you do have the flexibility, we're going to grab the back of the leg like Holly's going to do. So he's going to reach forward, grab the back of the leg. And if you don't have too much flexibility and you feel it very strongly in the front of the thigh, then certainly do it this way, which is more comfortable. So you're going to place your right hand on your right buttock, as in the case with Mel. The left hand goes on her pubic bone. The right hand is on the heel for Holly, and trying not to arch the back too much. Take a breath in. Breathe out and bending the elbow to draw the heel back. You'll feel the stretch right up in the front of the thigh. Breathing in and a breath out and tuck. Keep breathing. You're going to feel a very, very strong stretch on the front of the thigh. If you feel it in the knee joint at all, don't do this bending on the knee. Lie down, as in Martin's case. What you want to try and avoid is this. This is not a thigh stretch. So coming back up, you're going to lean forward to lengthen and open up the lower back, and then tuck the pelvis. So it's a very small movement, but a very, very strong stretch. Keep breathing, 2 more breaths. Keeping a tripod underneath this foot for your balance. You may find your balance is quite different from one leg to the other. And 1 more breath, deep sigh out, and relax and change legs. Okay, if you can't reach back and grab the foot, place a towel around the foot, and that'll help to give you the stretch. Taking a breath in, breathing out, and a gentle bend. Try and imagine drawing the abdominals in so you can slide a ruler between the abdominals and the floor. Pressing, lengthening through the knee, trying if possible to bring the knee slightly off the ground as long as there's no pressure in the back. If you can't bring the knee off the ground and there's a big gap underneath the hip, just try and press that hip into the floor, and that'll increase the stretch. Keep the shoulder blades into the pocket, lengthen through the crown of the head. Deep sigh out. Once again, you want to try and keep your hips square. There, how's that? That increases the stretch just that little bit extra. And a deep tuck, pressing the buttock down, pulling the pubic bone up. On this stretch here with Holly, you're going to find it's going to be a little bit higher, right up here. And 1 more breath, breathing in through the nose, deep sigh out, and relax. Lying on your back for preparation. This is preparation for the hundreds. It's a core muscle strengthener for your lower abdominals. So starting with the arms above the head, we're going to breathe in and take the hands up to the ceiling. Breathing in to come up, and breathe out to go back. Keeping the legs where they are, flat down on the ground. We're just going to go through a couple of the movements first. Breathe in, take the hands up, keeping the legs on the ground, and breathe out to go back. Right. What we're going to do now is take the arms up and bend the knees so you're scraping your toes towards your bottom. That's a breath in. Stop there, keeping the toes on the ground. Breathe out and lengthen back down on the ground, getting the beeline working all the time. Breathing in to bend the knees and the arms go up. Breathe out to stretch out again, and making sure that the back stays fairly flat. There will be an arch in the back. This time we're going to bend, breathing in, squeezing the inner thighs, and now contract forward, breathing out. By contraction, you're going to draw the ribs to the hips, extend the legs up as low as you can, breathe in, bend the knees, keep your contraction, hands up to the ceiling, breathe out, stretch out, flattening the rib cage. Breathe in, bend the knees, hands up. Deep sigh out, contract forward, reaching forward, extend the legs low, squeezing the inner thighs. Bend the knees, breathe in, hands up, keeping your head off the ground, and breathe out, stretch out, flattening the rib cage. We'll do 2 more. Bend, breathing in, hands up. Breathe out, contract forward, trying not to squash the chin down too hard, squeeze the inner thighs. Bend, breathing in. Slide away, breathing out. And from this one, we'll go straight into the hundreds. So 1 more. Bend, breathing in. Breathe out, contract forward, ribs to the hips, scoop out the stomach, take the legs up, hold the position, flex the feet, turn out the legs, squeeze the back of the knees, and breathe. In for 5, and a deep sigh. Deep breath in for 5, and a deep sigh out. Remember, keep the elbows slightly bent outwards so you can breathe into your armpits. If you're squashing your sides, you'll try and breathe into the chest, and the stomach will actually pop up. Deep breath in, and a deep sigh out. The aim is to try to keep the shoulder blades off the ground, with the tailbone flat and the lower back flat. If you lower the legs too low in the back arches, raise the legs higher, you'll find that this will work the stomach more. When you're breathing in, if you drop back on the breath in, what you want to try and aim to do is breathe in and curl forward more. And a deep sigh out, keeping the abdominals in, staying in that position, more turn out, 1 more breath in through the nose, deep sigh out, bend the knees towards you, and relax. Sitting upright, what we're going to do now is the partial roll back. This is to mobilize the hip joints and to work the lower abdominals a little bit more effectively. On the last exercise, if you do feel the neck on any of these programs, make sure you put a cushion underneath your head so you're not straining your neck. So keeping the legs in front of you with the knees bent, arms extended out in front. We're going to take a breath in, flex your feet so your toes are up so you can work the lower abdominals a little bit more. Breathe out and sink into your hips, looking into your groin, just going back about 20%, hold it there. Take a breath into the armpits, don't move. Breathe out and curl, looking into your groin and curling up and straightening up as tall as you can. Breathing in at the top of the movement. Breathe out, sink down again, and tucking. Looking into the groin a little bit more, going back only halfway this time. Breathe in, don't move. Breathe out, curl, looking into the groin, curling and then straightening up at the end. And curl down, breathing out. Good. Use the beeline. Breathe in, breathe out, curl. The lower you can go, the better, as long as the back does not straighten. 2 more. Curl. Sink in first, tuck, reach through the fingertips. Breathe in into the armpits. Breathe out, scoop the stomach in, curl over that foam roller, straighten up as tall as you can, and sink down again, curl, breathing out. And curling up, breathing out as you curl up, straighten up as tall as you can. Okay, slowly rolling down onto your back, we're going to do the single leg circles. Taking the right leg up into the air. In Holly's case, we're going to keep her other leg extended on the ground. What we're going to do here is, if you can't straighten the leg up into the air, we're going to do what we call knee stirs with Martin. So you're going to cap the knee, don't hold onto it at all like that. Just cup it like that, and we're going to do a simple movement where only the length of the arm dictates the movement of the leg. With all the others, what we're going to do is we're also going to start with an inward circle first, but we need to find that weaker muscle on the inner thigh. So place the hand on the inner thigh and find the weakest spot and press in. Never put your fingers into firm muscles because they're already working. So we're going to start with an inward circle first, taking a breath in and breathe out to lower. And breathe in to raise. Don't let the fingers slide on the inside of the leg. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to raise. Keep them in one spot and dig in deep. So you want to see a depression in the muscle. Out to lower, in to raise. Make sure that your thumb is underneath the other hip and the knee is upright. So try and avoid, if possible, the knee dropping open. You want to keep it up. Use the beeline. Beeline to go down, and let's keep the knee up a little higher. Beeline to come up. So you're using the abdominals as part of this movement. That's it. And Holly can come over across. That's it. And a deep sigh out. That's it. So this is much more of a hip joint mobilization here. The better you are, the more flexible you are, the bigger you can make the circle. And one more circle. Deep sigh. Out to lower. Into raise. And let's change legs. Leg up into the air. Turn out and point. Place the fingers on the inside of the thigh. The other hand, thumb under buttock. Hold for the breath in to start. Breathe out to lower, inward circle first. And breathe in to raise. Dig the fingers in, Mel, as much as you can, so you can feel the inside thigh doing the work. If not, you're going to feel the outside of the leg doing the work, which is already a very strong muscle. Keeping the knee upright, keeping a tripod on the foot. Shoulders relaxed. Breathing into the armpit. Nice and loud on the breathing. Deep breath out. Martin, a little bit louder on the breathing. And a deep sigh out. Keeping the tailbone on a coin. And 2 more. Beeline as you go down, Holly, flattening the abs, good. Breathe in to come up. Last one, breathing out to go down. Dig those fingers in and relax. And you would normally do the other direction as well. We're now going to sit up and do an exercise called rolling like a ball. Now, what we're going to do here with Mel is we're going to actually go back in a nice roll, but if you find this difficult, don't place the hands on the top of the knees, place the hands underneath the knees. So just roll back nice and easily. You want to go like that, nice smooth movement. What we're going to do with Martin is show you how most people can do this really quite incorrectly. So put the hands on top of the knees, and you're going to go down with a bit of a flat back. And then try and come up. It's a bit of a struggle to get up. So If you can't do this exercise at all, we're just going to go back into the partial rollback that we did earlier for those people who can't do this. Whenever you roll back, make sure you don't go onto your neck. It's just the top of the shoulders. So holding underneath the knees, Holly, if you can hold onto the top of your ankles, Martin, wherever you're comfortable. The purpose of the exercise is to massage the spine and to open up the back. When going back, it's knees to nose to go back, nose to knees to come forward. So hold, take a breath in, don't move. Take a breath out, don't move. Now breathe in to roll back. And breathe out to come forward. You're going to do this in your own time. Breathe in to go back. When you come forward, the toes just touch. You're not banging the toes on the ground. Breathing in as you roll back and breathing out as you roll forward. If you don't stay in a straight line, don't worry about that either. You may not. And we'll do 2 more. Breathing in to roll back, breathing out to come forward. Last one. Fantastic. Sitting upright. We're now going to do the single leg stretch. So once again, rolling down one bone at a time. Knees up towards the chest. Once again, if you feel your neck on these exercises, certainly put a cushion underneath the head. So we want to keep the left leg drawn up towards you. Place both hands on your left knee and extend. No, before you extend the leg away, contract forward. So draw the ribs to the hips. Whenever working with exercises that involve a contraction and an extension, always contract first. Extend the right leg away, pointed and turned out, but keeping it in line with the toe of the other leg. Place the left hand on the left ankle. Okay, hold the position. Take a breath out as you draw the left knee towards your shoulder. Breathe in, changing legs, keeping your beeline. Right hand, right ankle, all the way back to the shoulder. Breathe in, change. And breathe out, stretch. Nice and comfortable. Try not to force the leg back. And certainly don't hunch yourself towards your knee. You want to keep the torso in one position. Your eyes are on the long knee, so you're not swinging from side to side. So the torso is like a T shape, and it stays in position fixed. Deep sigh out, all the way back. Breathing in, lengthen and turn out the leg. Stretch through the toe, still trying to connect the inside thigh. And a deep breath out. Well done, Holly, keeping those shoulder blades off the ground. The most effective abdominal work is where the shoulder blades are not in contact with the floor. One more on each leg. As you can see, this really mobilizes the hip and knee joints. If you find it difficult on the knee, place the hands behind the knee and both knees towards you and relax. The next exercise, a little bit more of a challenge, is called crisscross. So, draw the knees back up towards you. The movement of the legs is exactly the same as that of the single leg stretch, which we've just done. So contract forward. Place the hands behind the head. Try not to bring the elbows forward so you're not pulling on the neck at all, keeping the elbows wide, keeping the chin off the chest. The ribs are to the hips. Extend the right leg away from you and bring the right arm towards the left knee. Breathe in, change. Breathe out and lift and forward. Breathe in, change, and draw the knee back. Breathe in, change, and draw the knee back as much as you can. So you're trying to get the armpit to the knee, reaching. When you turn, look at the far wall. That's how you get more rotation. Turn and lift, so you're not resting on the back shoulder. Turn and lift, drawing the ribs to the hips. More turn out of the leg, Martin. That's it. Breathe in. Turn more. Good. Keep the fingers interlocked behind the head. Last one on each leg. Breathe in to change. And deep sigh out. And both knees towards you and relax. This routine can be extremely challenging. We're going to go into more abdominal work with the double leg stretch. So before we start the double leg stretch, we're going to do a very simple exercise called the frog. So the knees are open, and the hands are going to be just by the sides on the floor to start with. You're going to squeeze the heels together as hard as you can, and you're going to frog the legs up into the air, breathing out. So just extend, breathing out, squeezing the inside of the thighs as if you're squeezing a beach ball. Breathe in to come back and squeeze the heels together so they don't separate. Breathe out, squeeze the inner thighs. If you can't feel the inner thighs working, place the fingers on the inner thighs. Breathe in to bend, squeezing the heels, and breathe out to extend. Only lower the legs as low as you can where the back stays flat. Drawing back, breathing in, feeling those inner thighs. Relax your shoulders, palms up. Beeline, beeline, beeline when you extend. Good. Breathing in and relax. This is part of the double leg stretch. So from this position here, keep your hands on your knees. We're going to contract forward, extend the arms forward, and take the legs up in the frog, breathing out. So let's go. Breathe out as you come up. Breathe in, take the hands towards the toes. Breathe out, circle the arms around, scraping the ears, keeping the shoulders off the ground. Reach forward. Breathe in, frog down. So still working on that frog. Breathe out, frog up. Contract forward, squeeze the inner thighs. Breathe into the toes. Breathe out, circle, scrape the ears. Great. Reach forward, more turnout, and frog down. Again, deep breath out. Contract up. Breathe into the toes. Keep the little fingers together and you'll get more stretch. Reach around. Fantastic. Well done, Martin. And frog down. And breathe out. Contract up again. Great, Holly. Breathe into the toes. More flex. Breathe out. Squeeze the back of the knees more. More. Reach and relax. Well done. Last one coming up. And contract up. Breathe out. Breathe into the toes. Breathe out. We're going to do 2 circles. Breathe out in the circle. Breathe in back to the toes. Breathe out a second circle all the way around. Reach forward and frog down and relax. Okay, we're now going to sit up and do the spine stretch. So sitting upright with your legs just as wide as the mat. Imagine the spine is up against a brick wall. The fingers are on the floor in front of you with straight arms. The feet are flexed and pulled back with the legs upright. We call this one the yellow pages stretch because you let your fingers do the walking. Taking a breath in, breathe out, curl the chin forward and walk the hands with straight arms. Hold halfway, breathing in, don't move. Breathe out, walk further, as far as you can, reaching your chest towards your heels. Breathe in, press the hands into the floor. Breathe out, engage your beeline to curl up, reaching through your fingers as you're curling up, one bone at a time, lengthen through the crown of the head. Breathe in, sitting tall. Breathe out and curl. Hands on the floor, walk halfway, hold for the breath in into the armpits. Breathe out, lengthen further, getting the chest right down as far as you can. Breathe in, press the hands into the floor. Breathe out and curl up using the beeline as much as you can, all the way upright. Breathing in tall. Breathe out, walk all the way this time. Reach down as far as you can. Press through the heels as well, breathing in. Breathe out, use your beeline to come up. Mel, keep your head down. That's it, curling up. All the way up, and breathe out one more. Curling down, curl over a beach ball, and then reach forward, pressing through your heels. Pull your toes back, Holly. That's better. Engage the beeline to come up, curling up one bone at a time, all the way into an upright position, and relax. Keeping the legs in this position, we're going to go into the saw. So, taking the arms open out to the sides, we're going to take a breath in to start, going over right hand to left foot. Take a breath in first, breathe out, turn, reach forward, and just a one saw, and come back upright again, and turn and breathe out, reaching forward. Breathe in to come upright, and turn, breathe out, looking at the back hand. Great. If you can't reach the toe, don't worry about it, just get to the knee or wherever you can. Make sure that the hips stay square on the floor so there's no hip movement up and down. Deep breath out. Reach across, lengthen through the crown of the head, press through the heels. Breathe in to come up. Breathe out, stretch forward, reaching forward as far as you can, turning the rib cage. Breathe in to come up. This time we're going to go a little further with a double beat. And breathe in to come up. So we're going far further. You're not going halfway and then more. You're going as far as you can and then further on the second breath. And breathe out. This is called saw because you're trying to saw off your little toe with your little finger. Great. And one more each side. And rotate from the rib cage. Look to the back hand, making sure you're taking the back hand up to the ceiling, to the wall behind you. Reach and come upright and relax. Okay, we're going to go onto our stomachs now to do swimming. Okay, this particular exercise is coordination and also to work the back muscles. So, we're going to start with just the legs first. Lifting the legs just slightly off the ground and breathe in for 5 beats and start. In for 5 and out for 5. No pressure of the arms on the ground. Keeping the beeline engaged all the time and squeezing the beeline from the sides. When beating with the legs, do so from the hamstrings. Therefore, you won't feel too much pressure in the joints if you lift from the feet. The feet shouldn't come any higher than about 6 inches off the ground. If they come any higher, you'll feel pressure in the back. This time, we're going to use the arms as well. Keep continuing the beat with the legs and engage the arms. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sigh, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breaths in and deep sigh out. Deep breath in, Martin, if you can bring your head up slightly. That's it, lengthening through the crown of the head. We're going to make this a little bit more effective by adding a percussion on the breath out. So in for 5 and good. Keep breathing and percussion. Once again, it's like laughing and getting those muscles engaged. Not too high. 2 more breaths. In through the nose, deep sigh out of the mouth, and rest. Come back up, sitting on your haunches. We're going to go into the cat stretch. Just a little bit of a stretch out. Anytime you do any hyperextension work or extension work on your spine, it's a great idea just to stretch out and let it relax. Okay, let's come up onto all fours, and we're going to do the cat stretch. Now, I'll just demonstrate with Martin here what previous cat stretches have been like, which have been taken out from yoga centuries old. The problem today is that we're rounding too much on the shoulders, and this is what the cat stretch currently is, where you're hunching up. Okay? This is the problem with most people anyway. The shoulders are too rounded. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep the neck long, keep the upper back flat, and we're going to tuck the pelvis. So what you're actually doing is stretching the tight lower back muscles. These are the tight ones. So breathe in to go back to your start flat position. Breathe out, engage the beeline and tuck. Deep sigh out, want to hear you breathing. Breathe in, release just back to flat or just below. Don't let it sag. Breathe out, tuck. So you're drawing your beeline in as hard as you can to the ceiling. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, tuck. That's it. You're drawing your hip bones towards your rib cage. Breathing in, release slightly, and breathe out, tuck. Now, what I'd like you to do to engage those abs more is squeeze the inner thighs together. And squeeze the inner thighs as you tuck. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Can you feel that more? Great. Breathe in, release. Keep squeezing those inner thighs. And breathe out and tuck. Great. And release. And tuck. One more. Squeeze those inner thighs. Shoulders down into the pocket. And relax. We're going to lie on the back now and do the perfect abdominal curl. On this exercise, we want to keep the knee at a right angle. So taking the feet away, bring the knees together and the feet together on this exercise. Most people, when they do this exercise, place your hands behind your head, Mel. Curl forward, breathing out, and bring your elbows forward, and then go rest down all the way and come up again, throwing yourself up. This is how it's commonly done. Stop. Enough. What we're going to do here is we're going to work on the abdominals specifically. Now, in that position, most people raise their head and shoulders to engage the abdominals. We're going to engage the abdominals to raise the head and shoulders. So keeping the elbows wide open, keeping the tailbone on a coin, so you're not pushing up with the feet when you're doing the movement, so curl up and push with your feet. So you see that lifts up there. You want to keep that nice and flat, because if you push up with the feet, these muscles engage. So keep your tailbone down. Great. Take a breath in, everyone. Breathe out and draw your ribs to your hips, and that's what brings you forward. Shoulder blades just off the ground. Breathe in, go back only 10%. Breathe out and ribs to hips more. So you're not releasing fully. Breathe in to go back. Breathe out, ribs to hips. That's it. Close the gap. Breathe in, 10% back. Keep your eyes on your knees. And now dorsiflex your feet. So pull your toes back. You should feel that a lot more in the lower abs. Squeeze the inner thighs, and you should feel that even more. Right, Martin? Good. Keep the ribs to the hips. And again, ribs to hips. If you feel your neck, relax the shoulders down and towards the pocket. 10% back. Curl forward. 2 more. Breathe in to go back, and deep sigh out to curl forward. That's it, as far as you can. Last one. Keeping the chin off the chest. Elbows wider. And relax. The next exercise is a follow-on from the PAC. It's called roll-up. If you can't do the roll-up, then keep working on the PAC, the perfect abdominal curl, or do the partial rollbacks that we did earlier. So in this position here, some of you can have your knees bent with the feet flexed, and some of you can have your legs fully straight on the ground. So Martin, if I can have you straight. Mel, if I can have your knees bent, please. Okay, the arms are above the head. We're now going to bring the arms all the way down to the thighs, breathing in and lifting the head slightly. So breathing in to bring the hands down. Keep flowing, breathing out. Ribs to hips, curling forward, all the way forward. Reach, Martin. I need you to reach, stretch. Take a breath in to release back a little bit. Breathe out, sink down. Mel, all the way, reaching forward, looking into the hips as you go down. Arms above the head. pressing through your heels. Breathe in to bring the hands to the thighs, keep flowing, breathing out. No jerky movements, no speed. And deep breath out to sink. One bone at a time, Holly. Tuck, 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 tuck. Squeeze the knees together as well. That's it. And breathe in to bring the hands to the thighs and ribs to hips, scooping out. The deep breath out really assists you on this movement. We've got 3 more. Nice and slow, deep breath out, tuck, 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 one bone at a time. If you're doing this exercise correctly, you should be able to stop at any point, go back up, and go back down again without causing a problem. If you're lifting, you need to do more PACs. So you don't want to bring the back up as a stiff board. And tuck, slowly going down. And slowly all the way back. Last one, breathing into the thighs and curling up all the way. And just sitting upright. Now we're going to do rotation. So extend the legs out in front of you. Keep the feet flexed, ankle bones together, inner thighs together. If you can't do this exercise because your hamstrings are too tight and you're slumping back, so just tuck there, because your hamstrings are tight, bend your knees. And then that'll help you straighten up. The most important thing is keeping your spine in an upright position. So taking the arms open to the sides. We're going to go to our left, taking a breath in first to start, turning from the ribcage, deep sigh out, one stretch all the way around. Breathe into the center, no stopping and flowing, breathing out, nice and slow in time. Breathe into the center and keep flowing nice and slow out to the side, turning from the ribcage. Breathe in, growing taller as you turn, much taller, much taller, much taller, because the problem is people bend down when they turn. And press through your heels. Wonderful. Into the center and out. Press through the right heel if you're turning to the right. And press through the left heel if you're turning to the left, growing taller. That's it, because the hips do tend to move around like that. This time a double breath. Far, further. Into the center, and again, far, further. Into the center, one more each side. Into the center, look to the back hand, and relax. We're going to lie down on our right-hand sides now for the side leg lifts. When doing this exercise, it is always very important that the body is not in a straight line, because otherwise your back will arch and you'll work your back during these exercises. So bring the legs slightly forward. The top shoulder is down and towards the pocket. The top arm, which is underneath the head, is palm up. So that stops you pushing down with the hand and cheating. Keep the beeline engaged, a little bit of a tuck of the pelvis. Take a breath in to start. Breathe out, lift both legs. Trying not to wobble backwards. Breathe in to lower, almost touching the ground. Breathe out to lift. The movement down is just as important, so it's not a drop, it's a lowering. Breathe out to lift. Just 3, breathe in to lower. This time, following the instructions, breathe out to lift. Breathe in, lift the top leg 6 inches. Breathe out, lift the bottom leg to the top leg, and lower both. Nice and slow, don't drop. And breathe out to lift both. Breathe in, top leg. Breathe out, bottom to top, working the inner thigh. And lower, nice and slow. One more. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in, top leg. Breathe out, bottom to top, and lower. And this time we're going to do the beats. Breathe out, lift both legs. Breathe in, lift the top, and beat the bottom leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close the legs. Lower both legs. One more. Both legs up, breathe out. Top leg, breathe in, and bottom to top. Squeeze the inner thigh. And lower the legs, and let's change sides. Once again, keep the legs slightly forward, keep the beeline engaged, make sure there's a bolt going right through the top hip into the floor, through the bottom, so there's no movement back and forth here. Shoulder blade down to the pocket, top palm up to the ceiling. Take a breath in to prepare, and lift both legs, breathing out. Keep the ankle bones together, breathe in lower, just a touch. Try lifting both knees together. Squeeze the knees as you lift, that'll be much more effective. Breathe in to lower, and breathe out to lift. Keeping the legs slightly backwards there, Martin, that's it. In to lower, this time changing, breathing out to lift. Top leg, breathe in. Bottom to top, breathe out, squeezing the inner thighs and slowly lowering down. And again, both legs, top leg, breathing in. Bottom leg to top leg, slowly lower, Holly, nice and slow. And one more, both legs up. Top leg just 6 inches, bottom to top, squeeze the inner thigh and lower. We're going to do the beats now. Breathe out, lift both legs. Breathe in, lift the top leg, and beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close the legs, lower slowly. Last one. Breathe out, lift both legs. Breathe in, top leg 6 inches, and inner thigh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze the legs and lower, and relax. Turning over onto our stomachs for swan. If you're feeling any pain in the back or any pressure in the back, stop this exercise immediately. The breathing here is a little bit reverse to what most people will do. It's a breath in to come up. If you breathe out, too much pressure goes into the back. If you breathe in, you actually support the back. We're only going to come up to the elbows for a first few. So take a breath in to start and another breath out to relax. Elbows on the ground, Mel. Now breathe in to curl up, only up to the elbows, squeezing the beeline from the sides. Come up as high as you can onto your elbows. That's it. Keep the elbows down. Good. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Breathe out to go down. Keep squeezing the beeline from the sides. Just a touch. Breathe in to come up. Squeeze the beeline. Breathing in, lengthen through the crown of the head. And sigh. Mel, if you can bring your arms just a little bit further forward, please, in line with your head. Breathe in to come up, squeezing the beeline, lengthening through the toes, and sigh to go down. This time we're going to come up a little higher so the elbows come off. Breathe in to come up and lengthen all the way up if you possibly can, keeping the hips down on the ground, and sigh to go down. Martin, if you can bring your hands further forward so you can straighten your arms. Breathe in to come up all the way, beeline off the ground. Straighten the arms up, squeeze the beeline, deep sigh out. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to raise up, breathing in. This time as the torso goes down, we're also going to lift the legs from the hamstrings in the same movement. So breathing out, go down, lifting the legs up nice and slow. And it's like a rocking chair movement now. Breathe in to come up, lengthening through the toes. Breathe out, lifting from the hamstrings. Your bottom is going to pinch anyway in this position. Breathe in to come up. Shoulder blades down into the pocket so you're not hunching. Deep sigh out, lifting the legs, stretching through the toes. Breathe in to come up, squeeze the beeline core from the sides. Well done, Mel, shoulders down. And slowly lengthen the legs up. One more. Breathing in to come up, squeeze the beeline from the sides. Well done, Martin. And lengthen through the toes and up. And relax. Come back into your rest position. After each extension work, as we've mentioned, you want to stretch out the back. So come right back and have a comfortable rest. Well done. Great. We're going to now stand up and do the standing roll down, but prior to that we're actually going to do some arm swings to loosen up and cool down, and then we'll do the standing roll down. So curling up, using your beeline to come up. Brilliant. And standing upright, facing forward. Keeping the feet apart, hip distance, we're going to extend the arms out in front of us with the left palm up to the ceiling. Shoulder blades down into the pocket, engage the beeline. We're going to take the right arm to the ceiling and the left arm down, breathing out, closing the rib cage so the back doesn't arch. Breathing in to go forward. Martin, if you can turn to the side, please. And breathe out as you come back. Palms are always facing forward. Breathe in to go forward and breathe out to come back. Now arch your back. I just want to show you how you do this incorrectly. You don't want that to happen. Breathe in to come forward. Breathe out. Flatten your rib cage to the wall behind you, and that supports the thoracic area really well. Breathe in and a deep sigh out. Shoulders down, lengthen through the crown of the head. Flatten those rib cage. Breathe in, deep sigh out. Shoulder blades into the pocket. Well done, Holly. Squeezing that beeline core. Breathe in. One more. Deep sigh. Relax the shoulders. Try and get the arms past the body line. So you're just relaxing the joints. Okay, take the hands down to navel level with the palms up. And we're going to stretch the chest muscles. Take a breath in to start, don't move. Breathe out as you take the arms back. Once again, it is a breath out, just so that if you breathe in, you don't poke the rib cage out. Breathe in to come back, and breathe out. Now poke the rib cage out as you do this one. Again, you don't want to arch the back. You don't want this to happen as you'll stress the spine. Breathing in to come forward. Breathe out, taking the hands back to head level. So you get the stretch right across the chest. Breathe in to come forward. So think of floating the arms back. A nice float. Lengthen and just float through the fingertips all the way back. And one more. Squeeze that beeline core as you go back. Lengthening through the fingertips. Shoulder blades down. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And back. And staying in that position, relax. We're going to do a standing roll down. Remember we did this at the beginning. We're going to do it now again as a comparison to see how well we've progressed during the program. Take a breath in to start. Breathe out as you peel the spine off that imaginary wall, one vertebra at a time, rolling down, and just flop. You guys never got halfway down in the first run. And hold it there. Take a breath in. Engage the beeline to come up one bone at a time. Nice and slow, imprinting the spine on that wall. Relax the shoulders. That's the end of the Floor 1 program. I'd like to thank Mel, Holly, and Martin for their fantastic participation. I hope you enjoyed the program. Look forward to seeing you in Level 2.